Not without incident, but we got a result in game one of the NFL season. Late fourth quarter, inside 3 minutes, Dak Prescott dots one to his star wideout CeeDee Lamb, who can't haul in the long ball. That was on 2nd and 10, now facing a 4th and 3 at the 2-minute mark. Dak gets the look he wants to CeeDee again, puts it out there for him, but 88 can't haul it in. A couple key drops in the second half for Lamb. That one would have taken some style points to haul it in, but uncharacteristic in the second half. CeeDee Lamb issues in the pass game as the Philadelphia Eagles take the opener. The defending champs 24-20 is your final, behind the arm and legs once again of Jalen Hurts, who goes for 152 through the air and 62 on the ground. The Birds, now 15 in a row, started and finished by Jalen Hurts. Joe Musso, pleased to be in studio alongside my guy, Emory. Hunt, Bryant, McFadden joining the conversation as well, fellas. Spitting, taunting, and lightning, the opener had a little bit of everything, and I want to start where it started. Before a single snap, Jalen Carter gets shown the door because of an unsportsmanlike conduct, spitting on Dak Prescott. How do you characterize that moment that led off this season? Yeah,
that was the worst way to start a season for Jalen Carter, because now it has ramifications not only for this game but also for the rest of the season, or at least for the near future, because can we trust you to keep your cool, keep your composure if this sets you off? Whatever happened between him and Dak, this was just completely unacceptable, violated man code 101. And it's just a shame because he's such a great player, and they sorely needed him tonight. Although they got the win, this is a big loss, and it may even be a subsequent loss in another game.
You got to learn to control your emotions. We knew this was going to be a very, very high energy like atmosphere when you talk about opening night, Thursday night football, when you talk about two divisional teams that don't like each other at all. And that's the first thing you do. Jalen Carter is the best defensive player on the Eagles team. He's one of the best interior defensive linemen in the National Football League. He didn't participate in one snap. So this is something that he has to learn from, but Nick Sirianni got to nip this in the bud immediately. And now we don't even know if he will be punished by the NFL also, outside of being kicked out of tonight's matchup. So instantly when he got kicked out, it was like a sigh of relief from the Cowboys sideline and clearly from their fan base, because they felt like the opportunity was there, and we saw a nice, successful drive to start the game, not having Jalen Carter in the lineup.
Yeah, when you are the better team in a matchup, you're looking to snuff out hope of your opponent. You offered hope there early. 0 sacks here for the Philadelphia Eagles. We knew it's going to take some time for them to get their edge rushers up to speed. The pressure's going to come from the middle, and with the big fella not available, we saw a lack of pressure, which made things even more difficult on the back end. In the end, it is a 4-point victory. B-Mac, what did you make of the offensive execution from there, from Philadelphia? A lot of the same core tenets that we saw throughout last season: run the ball effectively and a dual-threat quarterback that can make you pay in two ways.
Yeah, what Jalen Hurts was more impactful running the football. For some reason, the passing game wasn't there. New offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo has to find a way to get things going in the passing game. Most importantly, get A.J. Brown going, right? It was all about Dallas Goedert tonight. But outside of that, you know, Jalen Hurts became a playmaker running the football, and they needed that. I mean, he had a pedestrian night throwing the football, but what you did not get from him in the air, you received on the ground. And that's who he is. That's why I love about Jalen Hurts. You can say whatever you want to say about him not being a playmaker, not being a high-level quarterback. He is a guy that gets things done, either running the football or just improvising, and we saw that tonight. And I can tell you this much, it was a very, very sloppy game by the Philadelphia Eagles. But at the end of the game, they had more points than their opponent, and that's the most important thing.
You talk about it all the time, B-Mac. He creates a math problem, that sort of dual-threat quarterback. You got to account for one on the quarterback. A couple of those red zone early in the game. They do not. A couple rushing touchdowns for Hurts. I want to take you there, Emory, because I'm looking at 44 points, 0 punts before the lightning delay. We got 0 points, 2 punts, and a turnover on downs after it. Did you see the stoppage affect the flow of the game or the outcome in any way?
It did affect the flow because both teams were going up and down the field. And we even saw that toward the back end of the second quarter when Dallas drove down the field and got in field goal range to get the 3 points to cut it to 21-20. But then after that long extended break, both offense came out sputtering. And what we did see from Philadelphia on both halves was a lack of getting the ball to A.J. Brown. He had, one catch for 8 yards?
Late.
So we have to find a way. if you're the offensive coordinator, to get him involved early. We joked about this in the pregame, like, hey, maybe they're going to pepper him with targets on the opening series. We didn't see him get a target until late in the second half. And then they really didn't have success running the ball inside. Dallas, surprisingly, was stuffing the inside run. A lot of Saquon Barkley's big runs and a lot of runs that we saw Jalen Hurts have came off scrambles, and Saquon Barkley's runs came off tackle. So they have to find a way to get that push on the interior. Landon Dickerson obviously is a big part of that. He wasn't able to go 100% for the full game. So there were some things he got to work on, but granted, it's the first game of the season. It's like, the fourth preseason game, essentially. We'll see them get this thing figured out.
We'll call them coachable opportunities
Right.
for the defending champs, both in-game and in between plays. The selfishness is a word that comes to mind of Jalen Carter in that situation, to put his team in the situation he did for the remainder of this game. We did see Dak Prescott's role in that interaction as well. I'm sure it will be picked apart ad nauseum in the hours to come. I want to move forward with some more football here, B-Mac. This is a head coaching debut, and that was kind of swept under the rug with all that was going on with the Dallas Cowboys. Brian Schottenheimer had his guys ready to play. They had an opportunity to win this football game at numerous junctures coming out of that break as well. What did you make of the readiness of the Cowboys under their new head coach?
You know what? I love the rhythm that I saw, in the first half, and I do believe the stoppage in play, it halted the chemistry in the rhythm, but both teams had to deal with the same circumstances. But I love the rhythm that we saw from Dak Prescott. Most importantly, guys, Dak Prescott looked really, really healthy. He looked confident. Javonte Williams looked really good in the running game. And they had things going. It felt like, this could be a moment for the Dallas Cowboys to find a way to surprise all the naysayers and come out with a dub, right? And then the old habits surface. You know what I mean? And that's the thing about the Dallas Cowboys, guys. When you talk about trying to be a playoff caliber team, a championship caliber team, you got to make the routine plays happen routinely. That's what good teams do. That's what good teams do. You talked about the highlight coming into this post-game show here with CeeDee Lamb missing that catch. That's a routine play, especially for your superstar wide receiver. What about the third down missed opportunity on the dig route? The ball goes through CD's hands and hits him in the face mask, pops up in the air. That's a routine play. Those are things you have to complete if you want to beat teams like the Philadelphia Eagles. If you want to have a playoff hope, you have to make routine plays happen routinely. Miles Sanders, right before the stoppage happened, you're down 4 points, 24-20. All the momentum is in your favor. A routine run. You fumble the football. Guys, what was the final score of the ball game?
24-20.
Thank you. At that moment, you're going in to score 7. Philly didn't score another point. Those are the things teams like the Cowboys, they have to get out of their system. Just make routine plays happen routinely. If you do that in a consistent way, you'll come out on top more so than not. And that's what we saw. You change the dynamics of any one of those plays that I just highlighted. The Cowboys probably would win this ball game.
Emory, it's a quarterback and a head coach that feel like they maybe maximized what they could have done in this football game for the Dallas Cowboys. Some issues that BMAC points out around it. But again, there was an opportunity for Dallas to come out here with no air in their balloon after the last 7 days. A week removed from trading away the face of your franchise. What did you make of their effort in this opener?
I love the effort. And what was fascinating about this whole thing, guys, was we thought coming into this ball game, we expect to see calamity on defense. But the defense actually held its own throughout the course of the game. The calamity came on the offensive side, where BMAC talked about the drop passes, the fumbles, some blown assignments, another drop pass in the end zone by the tight end. Granted, it would have been a tough catch, but you got to make those grabs. Defensively, the interior defense in particular was outstanding. They shut down the interior run. We saw the wave of depth that they said they had at defensive end show up in this ballgame. James Houston got in there and got some touches and got active in the backfield. You saw Ezraku, I thought he had a really good game against Jordan Mailata. He beat him a couple of times in the backfield. We saw Dante Fowler get action in the back, got a hit. Nealon had some success on both ends of defense. So was very impressed with Solomon Thomas as well. The defense for Dallas actually came ready to play. We talk about A.J. Brown, 1 catch for 8 yards. Maybe that was because of the coverage of the back end. We got to see the all 22 to judge that. But, hey, credit to Dallas's defense. The offense had to hold up its end of the bargain, and you expect CeeDee Lamb to be that guy to make those plays as opposed to what we saw transpire in that fourth quarter.
Mac, our resident Super Bowl defender here, what did you make of the defensive effort here? Because I was looking at that run game coming into this one. Jerry says we want to bolster the middle to stop the run, and it was the edges that were unkept, allowing Jalen Hurts in the first half to kind of get out and pad those rushing numbers. Philadelphia finishes with 158 on the ground, almost all of that coming in the first half. What did you make of the run stop effort specifically for Dallas?
You know what, I applaud Matt Eberflus for the adjustments because, to your point, in the first half, it looked like it was going to get ugly. Jalen Hurts wasn't throwing the football well, but he was running the football well. Coming out, making things happen. Like I said, a +1 in the running game. I love that about Jalen Hurts. But what we saw in the second half was defensive linemen rushing with the right, proper gap integrity, making sure they keep containment on Jalen Hurts. To Emory's point, making sure they're stout in the interior of the offensive line, not allowing Saquon Barkley to find those small creases. So, yes, they made the necessary adjustments. We feel like this would take some time for them when you look at this new team, this new personnel and everything they have going on. But what we saw was the adjustments being made, and Kenny Clark showcased why he is a high-level interior player as well. So I love how collective they came together to make the adjustments and fly around and play better football in the second half. And that's why this is a tough game for the Cowboys in terms of how they lost this ball game, because they played well enough to win. They just didn't make the necessary plays they needed to make in a night in which Jalen Carter was not participating. So this could be a building block. But like I said, in the National Football League, when you lose games you're supposed to win, these are games that will come back and bite you. And bite you in the end of the season in terms of that playoff seeding and trying to get into the tournament. But like you guys, I know it's not like, giving them a certificate. We love the fight, but they allowed one to slip through their fingers, and hopefully they can get out of their way with this situation and be better in the next outing.
To B-Mac's point, this could end up being like how that first game of last season was between the Bengals and Browns. Now you look at it at week 17, like, man, had
Bengals
they won
and Patriots,
had they won that game, this would have been it. Had Dallas won this game, this could be the difference between going home to the postseason or being in the postseason.
It all adds up to a number in the end, and like B-Mac said, there's no ribbons to be handed out on this night. Instead, a W and an L. We assign them accordingly. Bryant, McFadden, Emory, Hunt. Appreciation, fellas. All right, a look here at what the Light did, or the Lightning, that is. 44 points, none after. 7 drives, and again, 5 punts. 1 hour and 3-minute lightning delay put the season opener on ice for a bit, but we got to the finish line, and the Eagles got there first. Conversation continues with Emory, Hunt, and Bryant McFadden. Some new pieces on this Eagles defense that we're excited to see come together throughout this season. This is the first data point. Emory, what'd you make of some of those new faces on the defensive side?
Love the athleticism at the second level, man. Zach Bond we knew about, right? But we've seen him run sideline to sideline, chase down some perimeter runs, and made some plays on defense. But how about Jahad Campbell, the rookie inside backer out of Alabama? We saw him carry the seam route by these tight ends consistently all throughout the ball game. If he's able to carry these tight ends down the seam and make things tough for quarterbacks to try to fit the ball into, man, they have a whole new set of problems in trying to make things happen against this Philadelphia Eagles defense. So impressed with the second level more so. You got, Jalen as well, edge rusher. You have Nolan Smith. We know about those guys. But the inside linebackers being able to cover that much ground, very impressive.
And you're talking about the linebackers and how well they played tonight. They were successful in doing what they did without Jalen Carter in the lineup. Now, we don't know his status for next week, but one thing we know for sure, he will be back in the lineup at some point this season. And when he is back in the lineup, everything else will flow even better. My only concern with the Eagles, when you look at the youth movement in the secondary, just getting the chemistry together, because that was that area was one of the more consistent units on their defense a year ago. They lost some key contributors from that Super Bowl winning team, and now they're trying to, repeat some of the same success. Quinyon Mitchell is a dude. Cooper DeJean is a dude. They got to find out who is going to step up and be able to be another consistent cover guy. opposite of Quinyon Mitchell. We saw Dory Jackson in there start off the game. You know, he had some issues, made a few plays, but whoever's playing opposite of Quinyon Mitchell, they're going to be standing on eggshells because they will see a lot of action. And they better be ready for that tall task because last time I checked, I think the Eagles have like 10 opponents that were playoff teams from a year ago. That is a tough gauntlet in terms of the quarterbacks you will see, along with the pass catchers they have the luxury of throwing the football to.
I mean, unless they're going on a road to someone serious, they're going to be a favorite in each and every one of those games because you pick the sample size, whether it's games started and finished by Hurts or the last 18 games. This is a Philadelphia Eagles team that is 17-1 over their last 18 games, including the playoffs. Here's a look at the road ahead, and we got a good one coming up in week 2 as they will take on a Chiefs team that they embarrassed globally just some months ago in that Super Bowl 59 win. Mac, I'm interested in your point of view on this, having hoisted that sticky Lombardi a couple times in your career. The encore performance. What are some of the hurdles that might get in the way of a Philadelphia team that's completely capable of doing it again?
Health and just being lucky. You know, when you look at championship teams that win it all, they're not always the most talented team, but sometimes luck plays a major part as well. And just staying healthy. And the most fatiguing part about being a Super Bowl champion is every week you get in the opposing team's best effort. And that's a very, very fatiguing thing mentally. It's almost like when they're playing against you, that is their Super Bowl week. So all the film study they're going into, the field prep, is like getting ready for a Super Bowl because they're playing against the guys who just hoisted the sticky Lombardi. So it's a long season. And even in tonight's matchup, you look at some of the uphill battles that we saw from the Cowboys, they had a game plan in place. They were equipped for this game, but of course it fizzled out. So that's why it's hard to see teams go back-to-back in the National Football League because of how difficult every week is. And to your point, they had a tough matchup tonight against a team that they're more talented than. Next week, it doesn't get any easier because guess what? They go on the road, if I'm not mistaken, to Arrowhead, as he mentioned. And then after Arrowhead, guess who they got? The Rams. So when you look at their schedule being a Super Bowl champion, yes, you're a primetime matchup because of your success, but everybody is coming to you to showcase that we can beat the Super Bowl champion. Look at the schedule.
Bucks and Broncos ain't a layup. Giants are going to have some defense. We'll see what the Vikings are. The Giants, again, you get a breather with the bye and not much outside of that because second half they go Packers in primetime, Lions in primetime, these Cowboys again. Who knows what the Bears will be by then? It's a gauntlet, Emory, huh?
Hey, Joe, Emory, do you feel what I'm putting down? I don't need to say anything. We can just look at the schedule and you ask about being, trying to return to that level. It's hard. It's hard. But it's doable, but it's hard.
It's funny because, yeah, it's hard, it's tough, it's challenging. But the only challenge is yourself. You cannot spit on an opposing player.
I think I have a pregame quote. I asked Emory Hunt, who can beat the Eagles this season? And your answer was?
The Eagles.
The Eagles.
And we got week 1, game 1,
Eagles
play 1. It's like, bro, what are you doing? That's the type of stuff that keeps you from going back to back. So if we got this unexpected chaos, game 1, not even play 1, because no play happened yet, man, of course we're going to get in our own way if you're the Philadelphia Eagles because they have the quarterback, they have the running back, they have the defense, they have the pieces, they have the mindset that you want going in. But if you're going to do stuff like this before the game even is underway and you're a significant part of this team, this is the type of stuff that keeps you from going to the Super Bowl once again.
Keep it above board, and we might see it in Santa Clara. A lot of time and a lot of football between now and then. Bryant, McFadden, and Emory Hunt, excited for another season, fellas. Oh, and that season is in full throes come Sunday. Join us right here on CBS Sports HQ as games go final for full highlights and analysis you won't get anywhere else.